dear students. I hope you are fine and using this time at home wisely. Today in English, we will continue with the third part of Module 6. The topic of this module, as we already mentioned before, is health and well-being. But today's lesson is about grammar and we will learn modal verbs. So what type of words are these below? Can, could, may, might, must, ought to, shall, should, will, would, have to, and need to. Yes, all of these words are modal verbs. Modal verbs are the same as auxiliary verbs, be, do, and have, because they work together with the main verb and we always find them next to each other. So the first one is the modal verb and then it is followed by the main verb. The main verb should be in base form. Example, I could go. So could is a modal verb followed by the verb, main verb, which in this case is go. And the sentence can continue. You should take. They would like. Modal verbs are used to express something, so they have a purpose. And today, we will try to learn these purposes or the usages of modal verbs. As you see here, modal verbs express number one, obligation or duty or necessity. Then number two, they express absence of necessity. Number three, they can express permission or the opposite, prohibition. Number four, they express sometimes possibility. Number five, ability or the opposite, inability. Number six, they can express offers or suggestions. Number seven, probability. And 8, advice. Now let's try to go step by step. So let's start with the first one, obligation, duty, and necessity. To express obligation, duty, and necessity, we use must and have to. These two verbs have almost the same meaning, but there is a slight difference and you will understand it while you read these two examples. The first one, I must start practicing my violin more often. In this case, the speaker has decided this is necessary. The second example, the head teacher says that I have to try harder with my homework. And when we use have to, somebody else, an authority, has decided it is necessary. Let's go on with absence of necessity. So, absence of necessity is expressed by the modal verbs don't have to, or don't need to, or needn't. Example: Sarah has done her work. She doesn't have to stay behind late. It isn't necessary in this case. Of course, you can substitute doesn't have with needn't in this case. Or if there was a first person used here or any other pronoun, then you could use don't need to, don't have to. Permission or prohibition is expressed with modal verbs such as can, may, could, mustn't, or can't. Can, may, could are used to ask and give permission. Like in example, can I use one of your pens? Or you can substitute can with may. May I use one of your pens? Or if you want to sound more polite, in a more formal way, you use could. Could I use one of your pens, please? And in this case, of course, you are asking for permission. Now, mustn't and can't are used to express prohibition. Like in example, we mustn't make noise in here. This means this is forbidden. This is against the rules. Possibility. Now, possibility is expressed by can, could, may, and might. We have two examples below. You can order extra books online if you need to. This is a general possibility. But if we say, we might watch a film tonight if you are interested, this is possible that it might happen. Now, ability and inability, as we have learned in many lessons and levels before, we already know that can and can't express our ability to do something. Like an example, Martin can sing really well. He is able to sing really well. And the opposite, Mark can't ride a motorcycle. He isn't able to ride a motorcycle. Now, offers and suggestions in English are expressed by can, would, shall, or could. Can I get you something to drink? This is an offer. And of course, if you want to sound more formal, more polite, you can use could. Could I get you something to drink? Or if you have a suggestion, you can use shall. Shall we go to the cinema? Or would you like to go to the cinema? Probability. Probability is a very expand topic, but of course here you have just the introduction of this topic. And to express probability, we use will, should, and ought to. You have two examples below. Mark will be on time. He is never late. And this means it's 100% certain because the speaker knows Mark and he knows that he's never late. So we use will when we are certain. The second example is Barbara should pass her exam. She's been revising for 3 months. This is 90% certain, so it's probable. When you use should, you are 90% certain. Now, when you ask for advice or when you give advice, you should use one of these modal verbs: should, ought to, and shall. Should is more often used. Ought to is a little bit more strong modal verb, and shall is again used for advice. Example: you should eat more fruit and vegetable. I advise you to. It is good idea to. So generally, we have gone through every modal verb, but of course, my advice to you is to study Grammar Review, and you are provided by Grammar Review below when you scroll down the lesson. Please study, take sentences, write sentences, use these modal verbs in the sentences, and please read additional material about modals. Thank you for your attention. Stay safe. Till next week.